Dogman. That sounds like the one cryptid I would not want to run into. It's like a giant monstrous fear eater. Dude, I'm not here for it, dude. It's cool, it's interesting, but man, that's one of the ones I don't think I actually want to find. What is up, everybody? I'm Johnny Blacklight. Welcome to another episode of Blacklight File 237. Found a couple of stories for us to check out today. We got a Dogman story, we got a Glitch in the Matrix story, and we have a Doppelgänger mimic story. Yeah, man, let's just jump right into them, see what we think.
Because a couple posts ago, I told a story of an allegedly true account of somebody or a few people experiencing a dog-like creature. And very quickly, I learned from all of you that this is some Dogman creature. It's a thing that I never heard of before. I've heard werewolf stories. Is this like the same as Dogman, or are they two different things? Since that story, I've been getting messages, comments, and videos sent to me about their own accounts of this Dogman. One of them comes from one of my followers, and I'm not sure if he wants to remain anonymous or not, but he tells the story of his encounter with this Dogman. He said that this happened back in the 90s, which is around the same time that other story I told took place. He said at the time, he was living in Texas. He said he was married with a son, and his in-laws owned a ministry, and they were having a late-night sermon. He said he'd heard this sermon before, so he decided to go take a drive in his truck. He was driving around an area where not a lot of people lived, and he came across one of the properties that looked like it was recently purchased. He said he could tell because that property in particular was very nicely cleaned up. He said about 50 feet into the property, there was this really big oak tree, and he noticed something looked like it was climbing down from this tree. It seemed pretty big, and he was taken aback, so he pulled over to get a better look and see what the heck was climbing down this tree. He opened the door, got out of the truck, left the door open, and stepped a few more feet away from the truck to get a closer look. He could hear the sounds of its claws tearing into the tree bark as it grasped the limbs on its way down. He noted that it had really long fingers and claws.
I hear that a lot.
As it made its way down the tree, he could see just how tall this thing really was. He said its back was huge and wide, and then it narrowed down as it got to his waist, almost creating like a V shape. And he said he noticed it had a light brown tail that looked a little bit short for the rest of its body size, probably about a foot in length. This thing had the head of a wolf and the arms of a human.
That's crazy.
Including its back, and its legs were very muscular. He said that when it finally got to the ground, he would assess that it was over 8 feet tall, and it was so muscular that you could see the details of its muscles through its fur. So this thing's back is still to him, and he backs up and he goes into his truck to grab one of his pew-pews.
Right.
He aimed at his buttocks and gave it one good shot to the left side, and all it did was flinch and slowly look over its shoulder to stare straight at him. Almost like, why did you just do that? So the fact that it didn't do much to this huge creature, he is freaking out now. He throws his pew-pew into the truck, jumps in, and he hightails it out of there down the road. He said there was no exit down the road that he went, so he was forced to turn around and go back past that area. So he said he's never gone so fast in his life. He must have been going 100 miles an hour, flying past that
the
property.
adrenaline would be
he said
crazy.
He went back to the church and he just sat there quietly till it was done, and he's never told anybody about it since, until now. He lives in Wisconsin now, and he's been here for about 20 years. His son is 36 now, and he tells him, if you ever go into the woods, never go alone, and always take your pew-pew.
For real.
What is it with Texas in the 90s, guys?
For real,
Please
dude.
let me know your thoughts in the
crazy
comments.
over here.
Please share any stories that you have like this one. I am fascinated. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to follow for more creepy story time.
Dude. Yeah, man, I like this story because it has a lot of the same characteristics you hear about Dogman, with it being like muscular, kind of having that V body shape, and just like the weird just morphing of a human and a wolf or a dog. Very Dog Soldiers-esque. Some real life Wolfman stuff, dude. It's wild. But yeah, man, apparently Dogman is kind of a popular one here in Texas. I live in South Texas, so I don't know, man. Might have to look into it. I did find this app recently. I forget the name of it. What's it called? It's called Enigma. Basically, it can like track odd occurrences. People can report things they've seen, post images and videos and stuff, and it keeps track of the location, so you can figure out like what's around you and stuff. I don't know, man. I downloaded it. I haven't really played around with it too much, but maybe we'll do a video about it here pretty soon. Something I thought about maybe playing around with and kind of like using to do some of our Blacklight trip videos where I'll be driving around and kind of looking for some creepy, weird liminal space spots and stuff. Who knows, man? Maybe we'll try that out. Don't really want to run into Dogman though, man. That sounds like the one cryptid I would not want to run into, because it's like a giant monstrous fear eater, dude. I'm not here for it, dude. It's cool, it's interesting, but man, that's one of the ones I don't think I actually want to find.
I have a glitch in the Matrix story for you, and I've got photos to prove it. This incident happened a few years ago. My boss was out antique shopping, and she sent me a photo, which I'm going to show you here in a second, and a text. And the photo was inside the antique store. It was on a shelf. There was like picture frames and candles. You can see little price tags on them. And she just texted, "Is this you?" So I'm going to show you that photo right now. Now keep in mind, okay, I'm 43. This photo was in 2001. I was 19. Okay, so it's a big coincidence that a photo of me from 24 years ago is in an antique shop that somebody I know happens to pass through. That's not even the glitch part of it. I have the original photo. I took that photo at Sears Portrait Studio in 2001. My grandparents, that's all they wanted for Christmas was just a really nice photo. I didn't have a lot of money, so I only bought one page. So it had one like large size photo and then a couple wallets. The photo at the antique shop is different. Okay, obviously it's black and white. Not only that, but the pose is different. That's the crazy part, is how did this photo manifest into existence? Sure, Sears could have taken one of the extra poses and printed it in black and white, but why?
Right.
And let's say that Sears had printed it out. How would it remain in fucking circulation for 24 years? Just a little bit of
Pretty weird.
context. Both my parents and my grandparents, they all died years before the antique shop incident. More context. The city that the photo was taken, the city that I lived in, the city that the antique shop was in, the city that my grandparents live in a different state. Those are all different cities. Okay. The big question remains,
Weird,
what the fuck
dude.
did my boss do
What are
with
the
the
odds?
photo? Did she ask questions? She asked the guy at the counter. Apparently the antique shop has little sections inside. They're like leased out to people who sell their antiques there in their little section. So he didn't have any information on who put the photo there, why it was there, or where they got it. I was mostly pissed off that she left me there in an ugly ass frame. I'm joking, but also not joking. She said she'd went to a bunch of different antique shops and she didn't remember exactly which one that it was in. And I went searching for that photo, and unfortunately, I never found it. The mystery remains unsolved. It's got to be some sort of glitch in the Matrix, but I'm going to put those two photos side by side and you can let me know what you think.
Weird. Yeah, man, that's such a weird one. Just all the weird circumstances that surround that story. Just how, like, all the different locations, you know what I mean? This isn't like a localized thing. That's kind of weird about it. Obviously, the thing that makes the most sense here would be Sears using the, like, alternate shots for whatever. But like she said, like, why? It's such a strange thing. What do you think about this one, man? Let me know in the comments. Do you think it's just like Sears, like, cheaping out on some model pictures or something, and this one just got out and ended up in a thrift store or whatever? Or do you think it's some sort of glitch in the Matrix, man? Do you think there's something going on and something got mixed up? What do you think? But yeah, man, super strange. These like crazy coincidences are just wild, man. Just like how many things could be coincidence, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. Weird.
Hey y'all, I'm gonna talk about doppelgangers and mimics. I tried to do this story last night and I just could not get through it. Doppelgangers and mimics are some of my favorite paranormal phenomena. I think they're terribly creepy. So in the simplest terms, a doppelganger is an entity that takes on the appearance of somebody, while a mimic can copy their voice. Sometimes you'll experience both together, but in my experience, it's usually separate. And I think they're two separate types of entities, different tricksters, most likely. Wait for the train to pass. There's one evening, I was probably about 17 or so, and I was at the church working, as teenage children of youth pastors do, unpaid labor, all the damn time. I digress. And I was in the office area in this teeny little closet-like space making copies. And I hear my dad calling me from the lobby. My dad's voice is distinct. And he hollered out, "Hey, Bear!" That's my childhood nickname. That's the only thing he called me until I was like an adult. I'm busy making these copies, I'm not really even thinking. I just yell back, "Yes, sir." And my mom calls from back further in the office, says, "What are you doing?" I'm still focused on these copies. I say, "Dad called me." And I stop. And all of a sudden it clicks. My dad is TDY on the other side of the country. He ain't calling me from the lobby. We stop what we're doing and do what all good Pentecostal women do and just start hooting and hollering and praying in spirit and whatnot. And I'm just a teenager, but at this phase of my life I was very, very deeply involved in deliverance ministry. I should not have been. It was not wise for the elders of the church to be calling on a teenager to do spiritual warfare. But I was the only one that could see the things.
Wow.
I was put in a lot of very dark paranormal situations. And when you start to get into the darker side of the paranormal, shit's gonna follow you home. It's gonna happen.
I believe it.
It's gonna happen. Now they say if you see your own doppelganger, you're gonna die. I've never seen my own doppelganger, but I have seen my mama's. That was the same week that I heard the mimic copy my dad. Still makes me sick to my stomach. Part 2.
Man, we'll have to look into part 2 on that. I maybe do that one in another video pretty soon. Yeah, I followed her because it seems like her story is pretty interesting and she might have some interesting stories to tell. So maybe we'll talk about some more of her stuff here. But yeah, the mimic one is super ominous and creepy, man. I've heard so many stories about that are like very similar to this story, with like someone just kind of being in like an everyday place and hearing from a small distance someone familiar calling their name. So yeah, there might be something to that, man. I've heard some creepy stories about that. Shout out Dan Bell. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. I watch a lot of his stuff. He has a reoccurring story he tells of something like that happening to him. He's told in some live streams before when he was a kid out in the woods by where he grew up, hearing somebody calling him out into the woods and just getting super creeped out and running back home. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to check more of her stuff out, man. Sounds interesting. Yeah, definitely more mimic and doppelganger stuff coming because that stuff's just super ominous and weird, man. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. I like talking about it because it's creepy and it fits with what we do here. So what do you think, man? Have you ever had any kind of mimic or doppelganger story? Have you seen yourself? Have you heard anyone calling you? Have you heard yourself calling you into the darkness or anything like this? Let me know in the comments below. So yeah, man, I think that's going to do it for today's video. I just want to get a little quick one out there and get a few things done. Stay tuned, man. I got lots of plans for some December content, so going to be posting not daily, but as close to it as I can. But yeah, man, let me know what you think of these videos. Do you have a Dogman encounter? Have you had a glitch in the Matrix? Have you had an encounter with a mimic or a doppelganger or anything like that? Let me know in the comments below, man. But yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Johnny Blacklight. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see you next time.